So we talked last time about aerobic versus anaerobic respiration, and I mentioned my dislike of anaerobic respiration. I don't like that feeling after I sprint. I don't like that feeling that I just want to sit down on the ground and I've only been exercising for 12 seconds, if that. But today we talk about recovering from that process and something called oxygen debt. Oxygen debt kind of works like this. So you've got a system. You've got a job or an allowance and you're paying your bills. You're paying the phone, paying the car, paying the food, whatever paying you're doing, and you've got balance. You're coming out 30 bucks ahead that you can save or spend, you're good. And then it's time for a holiday or a birthday or something big you want to buy, so you bust out the credit card and you buy it. And you look at the statement the next month and it says, you owe $38 minimum, and you go, oh, I need to find a way to pay that back. You don't stop paying your other bills, but now you've got this new debt that needs to be paid off. So maybe you babysit a night a week. Maybe you mow somebody's lawn. Maybe you agree with parents, family, friends to borrow some money to help pay it off and help them out and work it off gradually. There are ways to pay back your debt, and your body does this with oxygen. If you think about it, when you are using strenuous exercise, your body, if you're doing this without oxygen, your body is already out of extra oxygen. And there are other reactions beside metabolism, beside what we've looked at, that require oxygen. So you are now in an oxygen debt because you've gone through the oxygen, you've gone into aerobic respiration. Oxygen debt's the amount of oxygen you need to recover from your strenuous activity, as well as keep everything else running. So you're keeping those regular payments going, but also paying back your debt. This is in addition to what you need. How long does it take to repay? This is crazy. This is one of the things that's crazy about sports, where you have to do this over and over. It takes several hours to repay your oxygen debt. Track is one of the big ones, and one of the things we always do for track is recovery training. For cross-country running in the fall, you run 3.1 miles, you run it, and you can go sit in a corner and cry yourself to sleep and eat crackers and feel better. Track, you got to get up and do it again. Very few people run one event at track. A lot of sprinters, short distance runners, will do 4 events at track. You're not repaying the oxygen debt. So for big events, you'll run the same event, like the 100-meter dash, 3 times. And you got to be good, because every time you're running against better. It's elimination. So this oxygen debt is tough. You'll often be training without the chance to repay it. Now go to basketball or soccer or lacrosse or hockey. If you were playing basketball, you don't get to be like, I'm not running down the court this time. When I coached, that was my job at practice. I had to go out there and cover the fast girls. I had to pretend I was a guard. There's a big pretend in there. And I would sprint and sprint and sprint and wheeze and cry, and it was terrible because the oxygen debt wasn't repaid. And that's why you run sprints. That's what's the line drills at basketball, trying to get you used to still functioning optimally when your oxygen debt is not repaid and not even close. I played midfield at lacrosse. The lacrosse field's the size of a football field, and I was the running midfielder. I had to go goal to goal. Oh, don't worry, we'll take you out. We'll take you out. The game's an hour. We'll get you out. Don't worry. 59 minutes, I come out of the game, and I'm like mush. The purpose of me training then was to be able to sprint down, think I was going to either throw up or fall over, and do it again. We're going to come back to some variations in muscle fibers that let you do this more efficiently. That's coming up in a few days with a lecture on muscle fiber types. But this oxygen debt is rough. This oxygen debt is rough. But you can get better. The training will get better. You can improve your metabolic capacity of your muscle with aerobic conditioning. You'll get more mitochondria, be able to make more energy, be able to use energy more efficiently. And if you get to that point and you're making excess, it's stored. We keep it till later. But a very real consequence of this muscle training, this muscle use, is also fatigue. I know that my legs do okay, the running thing, but lifting and carrying, Arms get very tired. I don't use them as much. I don't like to use my arms. They don't do so much. Muscle fatigue is the inability of a muscle to contract correctly, and normally it's due to use. If you don't run the mile and then you run the mile in gym class, a lot of you think your legs are going to fall off. Or if it's Christmas time and you're going to shop, but you're a shop till you drop shopper, like a Black Friday person, and you go out Thursday night and you come home Friday night, your legs don't want to pick up. That's when you're biffing your toes off stairs. You can't get your legs up. You can't get in the car because your legs are tired. There are less common causes of muscle fatigue, nervous system issues that aren't providing the correct stimulus, or not sending the impulse due to a problem with the myelin sheath, not making enough of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. And there's also problems with insufficient blood flow. Because blood flow delivers oxygen and removes waste, if that's not working for a particular muscle, the muscle won't contract correctly, but most commonly. And this is the cause always assumed for muscle fatigue is overuse. My legs are tired. Why? Because I just thought it was a good idea to run 10 miles and I don't, but somebody said I wouldn't, so I did. That's why you're tired. Or for me, the last time the muscle fatigue, I cleaned up trees in my backyard. I don't know why my arms are so tired. What'd you do for 4 hours? Threw logs on the fire. I don't do this. I don't do this at all. I do this like, I used to rake sand in the summer when I worked at a golf course, and that was the only time I used my arms. Now I don't work there, I don't use my arms. So the most common cause of muscle fatigue is overuse. A sort of related topic to this is a cramp. I'm not talking about the cramps that you gentlemen unfortunately have to hear about, and you ladies, we ladies, unfortunately have to deal with. Not talking about cramps like that, and I'm also not talking about I just ate 5 enchiladas and tried to run and I have a cramp. Not talking about that either. I'm talking about you're sitting on the couch, you move your foot funny, and all of a sudden you're hopping up and down because either your foot or your leg is screaming at you and you didn't do anything. I've only ever had this happen once. I was sleeping. I was dreaming I was weed whacking at the golf course where I worked. I dreamed my boss got snippy with me and I tried to kick him, and I woke up with a leg cramp, a calf cramp, like golf ball sticking out the side of my leg. My friend was just saying about moving toes and cramping your foot a certain way you move your toes and it just goes rip or rip, or at least it feels like it does. Cramps are awful. Muscle cramps, and you try to get the cramp out, and sometimes the muscle will be sore for days afterward. A cramp is a sustained, involuntary muscle contraction. Like, you do not want that to happen. And a lot of people don't know why. Because I know for me that there's a way I can move my foot that I feel it's starting, but then, like, 99 out of 100 times, it's just like, I'm not doing it. No, that's fake, no. And then the next time I do it, and my foot is just like, yeah. So, with cramps, people sometimes say it has to do with the fluid that surrounds the muscle and an imbalance of chemicals in it, but no one really knows why we get muscle cramps like that. There's the ones during exercise where something gets tired, okay, or the ones during exercise where you should have been drinking Gatorade, you should have been drinking water, but then there are those mystery ones like the I'm kicking my boss in my dreams cramps. No idea? So look for cramp as something that we don't really know. If I'm asking you on a test, I would say something about of unknown origin. We don't know where they come from. But they're there, and they're rough. Have a good day.